My name is Michael Holmes, and you're watching Tekrific. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to watch more tech reviews and tutorials like this one. In this video, I'm going to compare two SEO tools that have a lot of overlap and a lot of differences. We're going to look at Ahrefs as well as SEMrush. This is not a sponsored video, but please use the affiliate links in the description to help support this channel at no additional cost to you. So let's dive in and look at Ahrefs. We're going to start with using the Site Explorer tool. And if you're concerned about backlinks, then Ahrefs is going to be the best tool for you. So as an example, let's just use GetResponse as a example domain name. And we'll load up the same thing inside of SEMrush. So some key things to look at here on this overview page is you'll note on Ahrefs we've got 26.3 million links and coming from about 46,000 referring domains. Now let's look at the same information in SEMrush, and you'll see that the backlinks here are a lot less. It's only 8.6 million coming from only 23.7 thousand domains. So it's about half as many domains and a third as many total backlinks. This huge discrepancy is going to extend into the organic keywords as well. So SEMrush is showing 32.9 thousand keywords. And then if we look over here, the organic keywords are 101,000. So that's like 3 times as many keywords. Let's dive a little bit deeper into the keywords, and I want to show you how you might use this data on both software. Well, if we just click on the 101,000 here, we can get into the detailed view, and we'll do the same thing here in SEMrush. So here at the top are all of the different filters, and I am going to say that the Ahrefs user interface is a lot better than SEMrush, and I'll show you an example of that. But you do have different filters by the position of the keyword. So if it's ranked number 1 on the Google search results page, or if it's ranked number 90, I'm not sure how high it goes, but I think it goes up to 100. You can do it by search volume for the keyword difficulty, which is kind of their unique score of somewhere between 0 and 100, which shows how difficult it is to rank for the keyword. The cost per click of the keyword, the traffic, which is the amount of people that kind of come to the site based on that keyword. So for instance, you might have a huge traffic keyword, but then you show up on page 99, so you would have significantly less traffic in that instance. You can also sort by word count of the keyword. So say if you only want to look at long tail keywords, you can look at only long tail. And then SERP Features, which I'll go into more detail in a little bit as well. So for this example, let's say that we want to see everything that's in position 5 through 10, because this is all stuff that you've got a pretty good shot at ranking higher, with maybe just making a few changes to the copy and maybe a few more backlinks. And then let's set a volume minimum of 1,000. So this gives us 27 keywords in the US, which we might be able to tinker with and make these pages show up a little bit higher in the search position. Now let's look at the same information in SEMrush. It's going to take just a few more clicks, and I'll show you why. So we've got the advanced filters here, and I'll do include position, and then I've got to do a greater than 5 followed by a less than 10. So just a few more clicks. And then let's do the volume over 1,000. So a few more clicks to get there, and then also you're going to get a little bit less data here, just because it's not as much information. But how much less? So 3, 4, 5, 6. So we got 7 keywords here versus the 27 that we could have worked with on Ahrefs. And another thing that you might want to search for is the featured snippet. This is just basically like position 0 in Google search. It's the when Google takes a little piece of your website and puts it at the very top as it answers a lot of common questions. So we can take all the keywords and just look for ones that have this featured snippet. So just to give you an example of what that featured snippet would be, this is where it shows a featured snippet for how to create a webinar that sells. Now, one thing you'll notice though is that this is only going to give us a total of 34 featured snippets. And over here, we've got 11,000 featured snippets. Now, why is that? Because the SEMrush page is only showing us featured snippets for getresponse.com. On the Ahrefs page, it's showing us featured snippets for all of the keywords that Ahrefs ranks for. So this is a better tool for, let's say that you're on the first page, positions 1 through 10. You'll see the feature snippet icon here, which indicates the get response URL is featured on it. We can look at the ones that are not featured, and maybe these are articles that we can tweak a little bit to get into that featured snippet. Other search filter you have here is to target domain must be featured or without features. So if we hit without features, this is a quick way of sorting the ones that we don't show up on any of the feature snippets, but we can also do target domain must be featured, and then this will only show the ones that we show up on featured snippets. This is going to be that smaller number, the 32, which is 34, I guess, over on SEMrush. So here the numbers are not too far apart between 32 keywords and 34. But one thing to keep in mind is that with SEMrush, you're only going to see the ones that you already rank for as far as featured snippets, and you won't be able to see featured snippets that are available that you don't rank for, like you can filter for here in Ahrefs. So this makes the Ahrefs tool a lot better for the sorting by SERP features. Now, I know what you're thinking. SEMrush is looking kind of junky right now, but one area where it excels is in pay-per-click advertising. So let's go over to SEMrush and go back to that domain analytics overview. And it really just kicks butt on anything that involves pay-per-click or search engine marketing, basically. And I mean, it is in the name. But you'll see here that it shows 1,900 paid keywords. So going back to the overview here, you do have some pay-per-click keywords, but it's only limited to the 638, which again, you're looking at like that 30% difference. So where SEMrush is bad in everything else, Ahrefs is bad when you're looking specifically at the pay-per-click keywords. So diving in a little bit deeper, you've got the advertising research, and you can actually see the copy of these. So we can see 476 different ad copies here, and Ahrefs does allow you to see some ads, but it's not going to give us that many. We're only going to see 81 total ads. And one thing to note is that there's no display advertising here. SEMrush is completely alone in offering the display ads, which you can see under display advertising. And this is pretty phenomenal, just the amount of information it has here. So you've got 14,000 ads here, and we look at the ads. We can start to see all of the different image ads as well as the HTML ones. These are going to be kind of like the animated ads, and then just the text ads as well. But a phenomenal resource if you're doing competitive research and looking for some creative copy for inspiration, not to copy, of course, but just what's working well for your competitors. So another great workflow for this is if you start on the keyword overview page, and Ahrefs has a keyword explorer as well, but it's not going to pull any data or any ad info. So if we look at email autoresponders, as we might if GetResponse was a client of ours, it's definitely going to make up for the lack of ad information and having like a larger list to work with as far as kind of related words. So you see they have them broken down into same terms, also rank for, and search suggestions. So here we're not going to get as many as Ahrefs. For the phrase match, we're only going to get 42 versus versus 511 over here for the phrase match. But then, a lot of these are junk, I guess, as far as the volume that it's being searched by. The one feature I really like here, and again, this is geared towards like needing the pay-per-click information, is that you've got the ad history tab over here. So click on this, and I will say that this is just a little bit buggy because it's not going to give us the information here when we click over to the tab. And I have informed them of this through the have a suggestion little box here, but it probably hasn't come across their radar just yet. But so this doesn't work. You have to take this plus out of it and then redo the search. But the information you get, I think, is worth it. It's just a little disappointing they have that bug. Here you're going to see all of the competitors that advertise on that keyword, and it'll also show all of their ads that they're bidding, or all the keywords that they're bidding on for your competitors. So you can kind of go through there, and also this calendar here shows you kind of if there's any seasonality. So if it's a seasonal product, you can see people that are bidding on it in different seasons. One of the examples they had in their tutorial was the keyword frames. That could be picture frames or it could be eyeglasses. But one way to see if that's a good keyword for you is to see what of your competition is currently advertising. For that particular example, frames, like no eyeglasses were advertising. So they probably had tried it before in the past and realized it was a difficult word for them to be successful with. So anything AdWords related is definitely going to be something that Ahrefs is weak in, but let's look at something that they excel in, and that's going to be the Content Explorer. And this is really interesting because it's kind of like very similar to the BuzzSumo tool. You can type in a keyword, and it's going to fetch the articles, and you've got a lot of filters here, so you can search for recency and the amount of engagement across 3 different platforms. So you can look for like, hey, I want to see people that are engaged on Facebook first. This is really good for kind of social metrics and seeing which type of content performs. You can also highlight domains that are not linked to you. It could be a domain or it could be a backlink opportunity. The other thing that you can do here is to see who tweeted it, and those might be influencers that you can approach to promote your links. So nothing like this exists within SEMrush, but it is similar to BuzzSumo, which is an entirely different product. And then lastly, as far as features go, I want to show you the SEMrush, the SEO Content Template. This is really neat. It's going to take a keyword, and let's just use that same keyword we've been using, the email autoresponders. And you'll see what it does is it analyzes the top 10 ranking pages, and it's going to give us some recommendations based on that research. So it's going to show us what our rivals are as far as different websites that we're competing against, some related words that we might want to include, some backlinks that are common, and the readability and text length. So I can set a writing task, and it'll actually kind of take all of this information and put it inside of a Google document, kind of like a helper tool. Let's set a writing task. I'll create a new Google document and then choose Go To. So I'll go Add-ons and then show the SEMrush Writing Assistant. And then I can delete this, and as I write, it'll show me kind of like an overall score for readability, the number of words, and using the targeted keywords as well as the recommended keywords. Yeah, it's just it's kind of a smart way of making sure that your content that you're writing is competitive. So lastly, let's talk a little bit about the pricing for these 2 different services. On the surface, the pricing looks pretty close to each other. You've got a $99, $179, $399, and a $999 versus a $99, $199, $399, and a what would probably be $999 as well. Go into the detail though. I'm just a little bit grumpier about what SEMrush is charging extra for. So Ahrefs, while it may look very similar, they have a better setup for additional users. Just to give you an example of the number of users that are included, for first two plans only get you one, but then you also get you get 3 users and then 5 users at $1,000 a month. SEMrush is just a little bit more greedy, I guess, with this additional user thing, because as you move up, the users are always an additional fee. So it starts off at $70 a month and moves up to $140 a month for each additional user. And some of this is capped based on usage. So if you're paying 70% of the price, why not just pay 30% more to the full $100 and get your own additional account, which isn't going to be tied to the parent account's usage? So I think that like that it's really a bad deal if you're going to have multiple users on SEMrush. So both of these plans are going to have like a limit on the things that you can do, and it kind of moves you up the plans. There's also limits on features that are accessible from the base plan. Well, what's most common, or seems to be in common with both of these, is that they limit historical information on the lowest tier plan, as well as device usage information. The one thing that I saw on here that I didn't really like too much is that they limit the reporting, so it goes from branded to white label PDF, which in my mind is basically the same thing. So you're gonna just so you put your own company logo in the header here, and then this will allow you to take off a mention of SEMrush. But basically, it's all the same thing. I mean, you could just download the regular PDF and then change it all in like a Adobe Acrobat yourself. And just throw your logo on top of the SEMrush one. To have this as an upsell to where you would pay 4 times as much for this, it just doesn't seem like that great a value in my mind. But I think that like this type of upsell is just kind of like more of a nuisance, and I think a lot of people would probably pay for it, I guess, anyway, just to kind of not deal with it. But it's it's one of those nuisance things where you go in there and you're like, hey, I want to change the logo to my logo, and then it says, oh no, you can't do that unless you upgrade to the next plan. So it's a little annoying. So that's basically pricing, and I'll link to that in the description as well. Make sure to check the links in the description for the current pricing, and then also it'll help support this channel through the affiliate links. So in summary, turn on the lights. So in summary, there's a lot of overlap in these tools, and I'd say that Ahrefs is a lot cleaner and more efficient user interface. It has what I would say is the more totality of the information, with the caveat, unless you're interested in pay-per-click ads. I think me personally, since I do a little bit of pay-per-click ads, that I'd be more inclined to not have like the totality of all the information, but to get most of the information in and I am kind of attracted by the Google Doc helper, because I'm not really a proficient SEO writer type person. So I think that might motivate me to kind of get better at it. So for me, I think that I would start off with SEMrush, and then potentially, if I grew an agency, I might expand it to where I was paying for both SEMrush and a Ahrefs or a Majestic account to really get the good backlink information. So which of these 2 tools would you choose, and why? Comment in the section below. Hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to check out other videos as they are published. Thanks for watching Tekrific.